Shawty made that clap, she don't need no applause. High fashion, like Goya, G-Wagon, or the Rover. I put some ice on you cause you got a cold heart. I know I gotta keep my shawty on go. Drop that to the floor, yeah. Whoa, you ain't gotta do it none of these no more.
What's up, y'all? It's Essie Rosee, and I'm back with a highly requested brow tutorial on how I do my brows. If you're interested, keep on watching. So we're going to start off with the Urban Decay Brow Finish Clear Brow Gel. We're going to start by brushing our brows up and over. You want to brush your brows in the way that your hair grows. Then I'm going to take my Kat Von D brow gel in the color Walnut in this angled brow brush. Then we're going to dip our brush into the product, wipe some excess product off, and then we're going to start by outlining the brow on the bottom. You don't want to start all the way from the front because I'm going to show you why later, but you want to start towards like the middle of your brow and start outlining the bottom. Then we're going to do the same thing on the top. You're going to outline the top of the brow. You want to outline your natural shape. If you want thicker brows, then you can overline. But what I do is I just use the natural shape of my brow. Then I'm going to take that same brush. I'm going to dip it in a little bit more product, and then I'm going to start filling in the brow, starting from the tail. Now we're going to work on the front of the brow. We're going to use short, light strokes. You want to make sure the pressure of your brush is really light because you don't want super dark front brows. You want to make it look ombre and faded. Then I'm going to turn my brush vertical and mimic the way our hair grows in the front. If you pay attention, your hair goes vertical in the front, then it starts to grow to the side, going towards the tail of the brow. Then I'm going to take a spoolie and then we're just going to brush out some of that product we put in the front of our brow to make it look more natural. Nobody wants super dark brows in the front because that's just not natural. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Start by outlining the bottom of the brow. Just going to follow your natural shape. Alright, we're going to do it again. The same thing on the top. Everything should be self-explanatory by this point. But if you don't get it, we're going to outline the top of our brow using that angled brush with the Kat Von D Walnut on the brush. Follow the shape of your natural brow. In here, I'm just perfecting my arch, trying to get it right. Then we're going to move towards filling in the brow. Like I said before, you're going to fill in the tail. And then as you get towards the front of the brow, you're going to use lighter strokes because you don't want a lot of product to be built up in the front of your brow. That does not look flattering. Remember, when we get to the front of the brow, you want to use vertical strokes because that is the way our hair grows. Next, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Camo Flage Concealer with a flat concealer brush, and then we're going to start outlining the bottom of our brow. So what this does, this is the sculpting part of the brow. So this is going to sharpen the brow, make it really sharp, and clean up any mistakes that we did. You want to use the same amount of pressure that you use on the front of the brow so you don't mess up and apply too much product. You don't want the concealer to bulk up under the brow and it just looks messy. So we're going to use a little bit of concealer, light pressure, and we're just going to sculpt out the bottom of the brow. Once you feel like you got that shape perfected on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and drag down the concealer to make the brows look more airbrush look. You don't want a straight line of concealer under the brow because that can give you that halo effect, that ghostly effect. Like, you don't want to do that. Since we're using a concealer that's particularly one shade lighter than our skin complexion, you want to make sure everything is blended out. So I'm going to go in with the flat bigger concealer brush. This concealer brush is from Sephora. I believe it is the number 71 concealer brush. We're just going to take that brush and we're just going to blend out everything. Here I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Start outlining the bottom of the brow with a little bit of product. You want to draw out the line first, and we're going to go ahead and drag that concealer down and blend it out with that 71 concealer brush from Sephora. I just want to put this out there in this video before I continue with the tutorial. Brows are made to be sisters, not twins. So it is okay, by the time you finish doing your brows, one may look different from the other. Now, of course, if one is super hippo fat and the other one is super 1920s skinny, then okay, of course you can go back and fix it and make it look a little bit more symmetrical. Now, you don't have to worry about making it super even when they both look the same. To me, that just looks fake. It looks more natural when one is a little bit off, because that's just how our brows naturally grow. Even one of my brows are more rounded than the other, and the other one is arched. Just as long as you're following the shape according to the brow that you're doing, you should be perfectly fine. Now we're going to get back into the tutorial. Once everything is blended out, we're just going to take the leftover concealer from that brush and we're just going to brush it up into the front of our brows, fading out our brows some more in the front so it doesn't look too sculpted and fake. When I do my brows, I like the front to look really natural. I like to be able to see the front of my natural hair showing through the product so it doesn't look overdone. Now we're going to go into my LA Pro concealer using the color Dark Cocoa for the top. I use a different color for the top just because it matches my skin complexion a little bit more. So what we're going to do is going to use a flat side of our concealer brush. We're not going to use it this way. We're not going to use it that way. We're going to use it flat just like this. So we're going to trace the shape of the brow. You want to do this really slow so you don't make any mistakes. Once we're done outlining, we're just gonna perfect our lines, and then we're gonna brush the concealer up and into our skin so it can all be blended out. I'm just going back down, fixing a little that I missed down there, a little bit in the front. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. I like to just start by just applying the product in the shape of the brow, not necessarily to shape them, but applying the concealer in this shape just so I can wipe some excess product off so I don't get too much buildup towards my brow. And I'm going to go back in and start actually shaping the brow with the concealer. Then after that, we're just going to start dragging the product up towards our hairline so it'll be easy blending. So I'm going to take that 71 concealer brush by Sephora, do the same thing with the leftover concealer, brush the concealer up and into our brows, just eliminating that line that we created from shaping the brow with the concealer. Alright, so after everything is blended out, we're just going to go back in with that Urban Decay Clear Brow Gel. We're going to set our brows with this product, so we're just going to brush up and over in the way that our hair naturally grows. Do the same thing to the other side to finish the look off. And yeah, that is how I do my brows. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.